This program is presented to you by the Department of Education, BARMM, Schools Division of Cotabato City, and Senior High School Department.
Kasi ang motto natin sa Department of Education, learning must continue, education must continue. Nagawa natin ito nung nagkaroon tayo ng
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
Soar high, senior high. Hello students, it's a beautiful earth, it's a beautiful life, it's earth and life science. How are you doing? If you're doing fine, that's great. I am Teacher Lourdes, your teacher on air. I welcome everyone for today's fantastic and amazing session on earth and life science. What is our target for today's session? Well, here it is. Describe how unifying themes, examples, structure and function, evolution and ecosystems in the study of life show the connections among living things and how they interact with each other and with their environment. Dear students, what learning did you gain from the previous topic that we discussed? Can you still recall them? I hope so. Learning science is fun, so let's move on. Before we proceed, let us have the recap of our previous topic. Evolving concept of life based on emerging pieces of evidence. The universe is about 4.6 billion years old. Life on Earth probably began only between 3.5 and 4.0 billion years ago. Evidences from fossil records show the emergence of the different life forms. The common ancestor of all life was prokaryotic. Since oxygen was scarce on the early Earth, so the ancestral cell must also have been anaerobic. The first life forms were very basic, and this then allowed for the evolution of more complex life forms. Eukaryotic cells evolved from prokaryotic cells. The evolution of life is brought about the changes in the environment, which are linked to changes in climate and geology. These Earth's environmental changes made the Earth's environment more suitable for a wider variety of life forms.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
For today's session, let us be guided by the question: how unifying themes in the study of life interact with each other. Earth is the home of human beings and organisms, including animals, plants, and microorganisms. They are found in the different parts of the said planet. The ecosystems, the biological communities, include living organisms, biotic factors like animals, plants, insects, and bacteria, interacting to its environment, as well as the non-living components, biotic factors like the rock, soil, water, and sunlight. Non-living things are classified as inanimate objects, like may influence, alter, or impact the life of biotic factors. These abiotic factors are essential to biotic factors in various ways. This session emphasizes these unifying themes that serve as the basis of the study of life science. The 10 unifying themes include emergent properties, the cell, the irritable information, structure and function, interaction with the environment, regulation, unity and diversity, evolution, scientific inquiry, and the science, technology, and society. More so, this session explores how organisms interact with one another and to its environment.
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang nahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong, sa kinabukasan nakatuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, kahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ng iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Muslim, Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin san patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa
Ay may lakas, eto na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ng iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat sabay-sabay,
Pagkakaisa ay may lakas, eto na ang new normal,
Before we proceed, let us have simple exercises that will prepare you in the discussion of the target of the day. Just choose the correct answer from the 4 given choices. Let's begin. 1. Continuity of life is explained by A. Evolution, B. Regulation, C. Form and function, D. Reproduction and inheritance. The correct answer is A. Evolution. Number 2. Living things are considered organisms if they possess which of the following characteristics? A. Grow and develop, B. Failure to produce offspring, C. Absence of orderly structure, D. Incapability of adapting to changing environment. The correct answer is A. Grow and develop. Number 3. Which of the following best explains why humans sweat when they feel hot? A. Ability to grow, B. Ability to reproduce, C. Maintain the internal environment, D. Used energy. The correct answer is letter C. Maintain the internal environment. Number 4. Which among the given statements describes a cell? A. Early organisms lack cell. B. Cell is the basic unit of life. C. Cell is present among eukaryotic only. D. All of the above. The correct answer is letter B. Number 5. Living organisms cannot live alone. They are interacting with the abiotic factors for sustainability of life. Which among the organisms is considered as the abiotic? A. Bacteria, B. Plant, C. Light, D. Man. The correct answer, letter C. Light. Number 6. One of the characteristics possessed by living organisms is growth and development. This happens upon acquiring energy. When creating a food chain, in what order do we start illustrating the smallest organism having the most energy? A. Leading to the right, B. Leading to the left, C. In the middle, D. Any order will do. The correct answer is letter B. Leading to the left. Number 7. A nice smell on a plant is an adaptation that A. Helps the plant to keep the nutrients inside, B. Pushes away the animals that try to eat them, C. Attracts the pollinators, D. Regulates the internal environment. The correct answer is letter C. Attracts the pollinators. Number 8. It was observed that the deciduous trees lose their leaves during winter season in order to avoid freezing. This is an example of A. A response, B. Organization of life, C. Function and structure, D. Unity of living systems. The correct answer is letter A. A response. Number 9. It is a unifying theme of life that explains the environment of lives of all organisms through research. A. Adaptation, B. Inheritance, C. Energy and life, D. Biology and society. The correct answer is letter D, biology and society. Number 10. All organisms alive today have descended from simple cellular creatures billions of years ago. Biologists were able to identify and preserve some of the characteristics of that earliest organisms. This is associated in what theme? A. Function and structure are interdependent. B. Cell theory as a description of living systems. C. Emergent properties arise from the organization of life. D. Unity of living systems is explained by evolutionary conservation. The correct answer is letter D. Unity of living systems is explained by evolutionary conservation. Thank you for answering the pre-test. What's your score? That's great!
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
I guessed everything is set. To understand better the concept of unifying themes of life, let's do the activity. Match it. As mentioned earlier, there are 10 or more unifying themes of life. In this activity, we'll consider the following themes. 1. Biological system. 2. Energy and life. 3. Biology and society. 4. Interaction with the environment. 5. Cellular basis of life. 6. Form and function. 7. Reproduction and inheritance. 8. Adaptation. 9. Regulation or homeostasis. 10. Evolution. Now let's begin. I will read the description. What you will do is to identify the match theme I mentioned earlier. So again, what are those themes? 1. Biological system. 2. Energy and life. 3. Biology and society. 4. Interaction with the environment. 5. The cellular basis of life. 6. Form and function. 7. Reproduction and inheritance. 8. Adaptation. 9. Regulation or homeostasis. 10. Evolution. Okay, let's continue. Number 1. Living things work as a system. At the same time, they cannot be separated from non-living things since they are both operating as a system. Number 2. Cells are the basic unit of life, which denotes that all living things are composed of cells. Number 3. Autotrophs use light to perform the process hand. Heterotrophs consume other organisms to obtain food. Number 4. Living things cannot live alone. Their survival with the environment. 5. Organisms' structures fit with its functions. The cellular basis of life. Traits of parents are being passed from one generation to the next generation. 7. Cells of the body are surrounded by a small amount of fluid and normal cell functions inheritance depend on the maintenance of cells fluid environment including temperature, volume, adaptation, and chemical content. 8. Living organisms survive depending on how one will adapt to its changing environment. 9. The diversity of life arises with change leading to the present biodiversity that we see. 10. The field of science is changing the lives of all organisms through research. Alright? I hope everyone has a good score. We will now discuss the above-mentioned unifying themes of life.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
The unifying theme connects the different subdisciplines that make biology as a science. In addition to, the living organisms differ from non-living organisms in various aspects. What are these shared properties of living organisms that make something alive? All levels of life have systems of related parts. A system is an organized group of interacting parts. A cell is a system of chemicals and processes. It is the basic unit of life. A body system includes organs that interact. An ecosystem includes living and non-living things that interact. Structure and function are related in biology. Structure determines function. The structure is the shape of the object. The function is the object's specific role. Organisms must maintain homeostasis to survive in diverse environments. Homeostasis is the maintenance of constant internal conditions. All living organisms must live in a stable environment. Evolution explains the unity and diversity of life. Evolution is the change in living things over time. The genetic makeup of a population of species changes. It accounts for both the diversity and the unity of life. Traits are being inherited and transferred. The continuity of life depends on the inheritance of biological information in the form of DNA molecules. The genetic information is encoded in the nucleotide sequences of the DNA.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
Organisms reproduce. It is necessary part of living. Process of making more of one's own kind. Organisms are interdependent with one another. Organisms have evolved to live and interact with one organisms. Ecology deals with the interactions of living organisms with one another and their environment. Organisms acquire and process energy. Living organisms use a source of energy for their metabolic activities. Some living organisms capture the light energy and convert it into chemical energy in food. Some living organisms use chemical energy stored in molecules obtained from food. Scientific inquiry. The process of science includes observation, based discovery, and the testing of explanations through the hypothetic deductive. Scientific credibility depends on the repeatability of observation and experiments. Science, technology, and society. Many technologies are goal-oriented applications of science. The relationships of science and technology to society are now more crucial to understand than even before.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
So that's it. We are done discussing unifying themes in the study of life. Before we end, let us have a brief summary of today's lesson. Generally, the following statements provide key concepts on the unifying themes in the study of life. 1. Biology is about the study of life. 2. The unifying themes connect the different subdisciplines that make up biology as a science. 3. The unifying themes of biology comprise the cell theory as a description of living systems, continuity of life, interdependence of function and structure, evolution, unity of living systems, and the properties that arise from the organization of life. 4. The living organisms are composed of cells as what was discussed in the cell theory. The cell theory is the foundation of our understanding of reproduction and growth of organisms. 5. The continuity of life is best explained by the molecular basis of inheritance. Heredity, which is the continuity of life from one generation to the next, is dependent on correct copying of cells' DNA into daughter cells. 6. The function and structure are interdependent. 7. The evolutionary change give rise to the diversity of life. 8. Living organisms, biotic factors, are dependent on its environment, which consists of non-living organisms, abiotic factors. Living organisms also interact with other living organisms. 9. Biotic factors, living things, are defined by a set of characteristics including the ability to reproduce, grow, move, and ability to adapt to its environment. They need food, water, and other abiotic factors for their growth and development. 10. Abiotic factors are inanimate objects, which include rocks, water, weather, and other living things present in the environment. 11. Biological systems are organized. 12. The study of biology is important. It enables us to make appropriate decisions in life. Failure to grasp biological concepts lead into inappropriate decisions. 13. One must value life by taking good care of all beings, humans, plants, and animals. Now, to check further your learning of today's session, explain the quotation, "Your body isn't just a body, it's an ecosystem." Relate this quotation to attain our goal for this session, and that is to describe how unifying themes, examples, structure and function, evolution, and ecosystems in the study of life show the connections among living things and how they interact with each other and with their environment. And that concludes our session today. For clarification about what you have listened to, you may contact your teachers using their mobile number. You can also message them on their messenger. Further information may also be found on your school's FB page. We're still in the new normal. Always remember to follow social distancing protocols and safety measures whenever you will go outside. Wear your face masks and sanitize your hands. Thank you for listening. I hope you have enjoyed our session and learned something new. We would like to give credit and gratitude to the following for making this radio-based instruction a great success. Mr. Zainuddin E. Ismael for the editing of this radio-based instruction. Ms. Leia V. Basco for the script preparation of today's radio-based instruction. Vince A.B.C.D.E. Bitonio, Rodel Rubia, and Melvin O. Bitonio for the song Balik Eskwela. And also to the owner of no copyright, sound effect, and music background used in this radio-based instruction. We are also extending gratitude to our DepEd partners, radio stations, for airing our radio-based instruction. Always keep in mind that God has given us a beautiful life, a wonderful earth. This is Earth and Life Science. In behalf of my radio-based instruction team, I am Teacher Lourdes M. Aguila of Datwayunan National High School, Senior High School Department, District 5, signing off.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!